Now we can take the no sign off of the element that wasn't working. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So we've got a good one for you today. This stove, when you use this element on the front, after you turn it off, it continues to run by itself. A very unsafe condition. We want to fix that today. What happens is this switch fails, and when they fail, they do this weird thing where they turn themselves on and off constantly after the burner's been turned off. So it'll do this. This is what you'll see. You'll see the burner get hot, and then you'll see it shut off again, and then you'll see it turn on to high again, and it'll just continue to cycle this way until you actually go shut the breaker off. I'm shocked that this is something that happens on these stovetops. It's a very unsafe condition because you can put stuff on top of the stove when you think you're done cooking, and the burner continues to cycle itself on and off. What they do is they sell replacement switches for the stove. In this case, it's a Frigidaire. It's the same for the GE and a couple other ones. I think the Kenmore as well. This is the replacement switch. Fairly simple to change, but I'm still absolutely shocked that this is a condition that can happen on a stove. It should fail safe, meaning off. It shouldn't cycle like that or continue to cycle. So we're going to fix this today. We're going to change this this surface element switch. So let's get started. Okay, so really simple to do. All you need to do is take off each knob. We're just going to take those off and set them on in their order on the countertop here. This stovetop has 4 knobs, and they just basically slide right off. And then you'll see this black bezel behind each of those knobs. And basically, you can either use your fingernail or you can use a screwdriver, and you just want to unscrew those. One, we're going to put those in order as well. Bit stiff to turn, but that's okay. 2, 3, 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to stop you right here. I'm going to caution you that removing this panel exposes the back of these switches, which do have spade connections, but you could inadvertently touch something metal in here to one of these connectors. So to be safe, you should probably go and turn the breaker off for your stove. Okay, so now there's no time on the display here, so we know that the power is off. Once you take those 4 bezels off, this piece just comes right up. Super easy. And you can tip this. See, that's the controller there. What I like to do is just put it back up on the... Oh, unfortunately, that's hot right now, so we're just going to hang it down a little bit. But you don't want these wires to get cut or anything on this sharp edge, so you want to be aware of that. Then there is a number of Robertson screws. Now you'll see there's one on each side of the switch, and that's the one. So this was the one that's not working properly. So we're going to undo these 2 screws, and we're going to pull that switch out, and we're going to check the part number and make sure we have the right one. But these other 3 screws on each side let you remove this metal frame. So we're going to pull out those now. So there's 3 on each side. 1, you don't want to drop these. 2, 3, and then there's 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. Now this bezel can actually come off. See how that bezel now rotates, and you can see You can see all of the switches here. This is the switch that's got the problem. And I don't know if it has something to do with that this is the speed element. This is a 2 size element. I'm not too sure, but there's a red dot on the back of this switch. And you can see here, we actually have a red dot on our new switch as well. So we're going to check the part number and make sure that they match. So the part number on this switch, the existing one, is 318-293-831. We're going to look on this one and make sure it is 318-293-831. So this is effectively the replacement switch for this. What we're going to want to do is not take this switch out yet. We're going to hold this one right beside this one and move each wire like for like so that we get them in the proper position, and then we'll unscrew that one and put this one in. So let's open this one up. And take it out of the bag. That looks very similar. Identical, if you will. Oh, what is... Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold that in the exact position that this one is, and we are just going to move each wire. So this is the back one. Maybe should get a set of needle nose pliers. So this is this one here. So we're going to put that one there. This is just a jumper between these two positions, so we'll put that one on last. And this one comes off. Ooh, those are on there pretty good. Again, holding the switch the way you want it. We took that one off. We just took this one off. Put that one back on there. And then this orange one goes to here. This orange one goes to the bottom one here. And then you're left with this jumper between. Now I'll show you this switch. I can see already down in here that it's black. There's definitely been some arcing or something going on there, which you obviously don't want. And then they've got this jumper which goes between this position here and this position here. So that's the new switch is wired now. So what we want to do is flip this this metal frame back up here slightly, and we want to take out these 2 screws, and that's going to release this old switch now. These are just a machine screw. Okay, we want to keep, there's a frame here I'll show you in a second. So there's the 2 machine screws out. And there's also this little frame here that lets you screw on that plastic bezel. So you're going to want to slide that onto the new switch. Yeah, that is black in there. I'm going to show you that in a second here, close up. And we can definitely see why that has failed. So now we take our new switch, we slide this this collar on. And we place it into the hole that it goes in. And you just put those machine screws back in. They're going to be a bit tough to line up because you're lining up the switch holes as well as that frame hole. But it's not too bad. Now you can see we've got the new switch in the front. So let me show you this. I hope you can see that. Inside this corner here is just black. I'm going to get a light and see if I can give you a better view of that. I hope you can see that color in the corner there, how black that is compared to the white plastic. So one of the telltale things that I've seen is on the front. We're going to put this frame back in here slightly. Lift up this panel with it. I'm going to show you what I saw. So a little while before the burner started doing its little dance there on and off, these little element lights that's saying that the element's still hot or the surface is hot or if it's on, started flickering. Now, I don't know if that flickering was the short that we were seeing that was causing this to turn black in the switch, but I'm pretty certain that's a telltale sign that the switch is actually failing. So we got to get this rubber strip here back in place. That keeps crumbs from going down inside here. But that goes after this metal frame goes back in. So we're just going to set that aside for a second. We're going to get this metal frame back into its position now that we've changed the switch out. And then we're going to put this control panel back in. Okay. So now that we've got that done, we can screw those 6 screws back in that were used to hold this frame. Now this is just stamped sheet metal here, so all these edges can be very sharp. You want to be, as I said, you want to be conscious of what you're doing with the wires when you're draping over this panel. And if you're sliding your fingers back and forth on this metal, you could cut yourself. It's pretty sharp. It's just a stamped edge. Nobody sands it once it's been stamped. So we are just going to finish up with these 6 screws. Okay, those are all back in there now. We want to take our strip of rubber that goes across here, set it in where it's supposed to go. And then this control panel and all that goes back. Be mindful not to touch the board on the back. You don't want to touch any of that if you can. Doesn't hurt it, but there's really no need to if you can do that. And we're going to line up the rubber piece here. There we go. It just kind of drops into that little channel. Be mindful of that when you take it apart. Just keep an eye on it. Okay, so that's all in there properly now, and we're holding it there. So then all you need to do is put these bezels back in and screw them down. And that's what squeezes that front panel down. So we're just going to put a couple in here for now. I'm not going to do them super tight yet. And the last one here, we're going to check that that rubber gasket is squishing down, which is exactly what it's doing. And we can now push on the panel and sort of turn these as you go, which gives you a nice tight fit. Okay, so that's good. The panel's back in place. These are all tightened up. Now we can take the the no sign off of the element that wasn't working. We can slide these knobs back on. It seems to function nicely. Put them back in the order that you took them off. They probably all fit on each other, but you know what? Just save yourself the hassle. So make sure they all operate properly. Okay, that's it. We're going to go turn the breaker on and make sure the element works. Okay, so we've turned the power back on now. And you can see the hot surface light has come back on, sensing that this burner is still a little bit warm. But now we're going to check this and make sure this cycles to high. I feel it's getting hot now, which is good. Now you're going to want to watch this for, you're going to continually want to watch these and all the other burners just to make sure this doesn't happen. But I did look at the other switches off camera, and they all do not have this black arcing in them. So for whatever reason, and they're a different part number. Each of these elements is a different part number than this one with the red dot on it for whatever reason. But maybe that is just a bad failure point on these stoves. So we've got it all back together now. We've tested it. The burner definitely gets hot. You'll see it start to get bright red here, which is perfect. It's what we want. The hot surface element light is on. So that's going to do it for today's video. You're going to continually want to check this for the first little while here to make sure inadvertently that you didn't get a bad switch. But you know, they do have to pass some sort of inspection, so I would assume that it's going to be good. I hope that helps out a lot of people. As I said, this is a huge unsafe condition. You don't want to leave this happening. You want to get it fixed right away. If you like these videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share it with a family member or friend, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.